Alright, in this video, we're going to go through on Maha Bodhi School 2024 with that assessment 2, Primary 5 Mathematics. So let's get started. Okay, first question. 11 girls shared 8 meters of ribbon. Find the length of ribbon each girl received. Give your answers to 2 decimal place. So that means we have 8 meters of rope, ribbon divided by 11 girls, right? So 8 divided by 11. Okay, so you can use a calculator. So 8 divided by 11 is 0.7272, right? 0.727 dot. So we need to go to 2 decimal place, which is basically these two numbers. So since the number before 2 is 7, we round up. So that means this is 7.3. So the answer is 0.73. Okay, let's move on to the next question. How many hundredths? So 100 is 1 over 100. Okay, so how do we get this 2.5? So what number will give us 2.51? So that's the simplest way to do it. So in essence, we can just multiply the zeros. So if I were to remove this, okay, what you can do is actually you can have 2.51 times 100. Okay, and this will give you 251 over 100. Okay, once you see two zeros, you put a decimal place here. So it's 251 is equal to 2.51. So the answer is 251. So 251 hundredths will be 2.51. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 3. Mr. Tan mixed 2 liters and 50 ml of water with 750 milliliters of lemon juice to make some lemonade. Find the ratio of amount of lemon juice used to the amount of lemonade he made. Right? So express in the simplest form. Okay, so we need to first make 2 liters and 50 milliliters into milliliters. So 2 liters is 2000 milliliters, and then you also have 50 milliliters in here. So he says amount of lemon juice. So lemon juice here. So find the ratio of the amount of lemon juice used to the amount of lemonade. So to make lemonade, he combined this together. So lemonade is equal to 2050 plus 750, and this gives you 2800 milliliters. So amount of lemon juice. So lemon juice to lemonade. This is equal to, so lemon juice is 750 to 2800. So we cancel 0 and 0. Okay, so if we divide this by 5, this will give us 15. Divide 280 by 5. Okay, this will give us 56. Right, so I think it's 15 to 56. So the answer is 15 to 56. All right, let's move on to question 4. The solid is made up of 1 centimeter cubes. How many more 1 centimeter cubes must be added to the solid to form a cuboid measuring 6 cm by 4 cm by 4 cm? Okay, so first we already have 4 cm. Okay, this is 4. So 4 cubes is equal to 4 cm. And then we have 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6. Okay, 6 cm over here. And we also want to get 4 cm over here as well. Okay, 4 cm. So basically, we need to calculate how many cubes are left. Okay, so we have layers. We have 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 and 4. Okay, so let me make it red. So I have first layer, second layer, third layer, and fourth layer. Okay, so the fourth layer, it's already, so fourth layer, it's already, let me just put fourth. Okay, let me write it down properly. So fourth layer is equal to 6 times 4. This is 24 cubes. Okay. So in total, the volume that we want is so total cubes we want is 6 times 4 times 4. Right. So 24 times 4, 48, 96. So we want 96 cube. Okay. So let me double check. 6 times 4 times 4, 96. Okay, fourth layer. So third layer over here. So we count, we have 1. Then we have, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 over 1, 2, and then 3. So third layer is basically 3 times 5 plus 1. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1. This will become 16. Okay, so the next one is second layer. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to count. So second layer we have 1, because we have 1 extra over here. So we have 2, 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that means it's 4 times 2 plus 1. So this will give us 9. And then the last first layer, right? First layer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so first layer is equal to 5. So I'm gonna add, we basically gonna have the total 96 minus 24 minus 16 minus 9 minus 5. Okay, so minus 24, this is 49, 54. So 96 minus 54, this will give us 14. Yeah, 40. 42. Yep. So 96 minus 24 minus 16 minus 9 minus 5. 24, not this. 16. Okay, correct. 42. Okay, so the answer is 42. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 5. 5. Aaron has less than 110 stickers. If he gives 6 stickers to each of his friends, he will have no stickers left. So it looks something like this. He has a bunch of stickers, and then he gives away 6 to each of his friend, and there's no stickers left. That means there's a remainder. So next is if no remainder. If he gives 8 stickers to each of his friends, right, he will be short of 34 stickers. That means it's not enough. He needs 34 more stickers to give away all 8 to each of his friends. So how many stickers does Aaron have? So since we know this, right, the only difference from, this before and then after is that we actually add. So we add 2 per person, right? So that why is because 8 minus 6 is equal to 2. So since we know that adding 2 per person makes 34 stickers short, means we need 34 stickers more, that means we can actually divide. So 34 divided by 2, and since 34 stickers we need, that means we actually have 17 friends. So since we have 17 friends, and the clue here is if we give 6 stickers each to each of his friends, there will be no stickers left. Then we have 17 times 6. And this will give us 102. Right, 102. So the answer is 102. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 6. Nancy bought some pens at $1.85 and some correction tips at $3.50. She bought 16 more pens than correction tips and spent a total of $147.30. How many correction tips did she buy? So that means dollars 147.30 is equal to pens and correction tapes, right? So in this case, we will just have we just say pens and then plus correction tapes. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? So let's break this down. So each pen over here, $147.30 is equal to $1.85. And then correction tape itself is $3.50. And thing is, she bought 16 more pens. So that means there is an equal number of pens. So in a way, we have times 16 plus, okay, and plus 3. And what we can do is we can actually have to get the pens, the amount of pens. So $1.85 times 16, 1.85 times 16 is equal to $29.60. So dollars 29 and 60. Okay. So other than when you read this statement over here, it basically says uh, pence is equal to correction tape minus 16, right? 16 more pence, right? So 16 pence minus 16 pence, right? So $29.60. Okay. So that means, right, other if we were to remove the 16 pence, we actually have the same amount of pence, number of pence equal to number of correction tapes. Right? It's the same amount. Okay. So that means if we were to minus dollars 30 minus 29.60. Okay, so 147.3 minus 29.6, it will give us $117.70. Correct? Yes. Okay. Now with this we can actually divide. So we can add dollars 1.85 plus dollars 3.50, and this will give us $5.35. Okay. So now we can divide dollars 117.70 divide by dollars 5.35. Okay. So 117.70 divided by 5.35. And this will give us 22. And since pens and correction tapes are basically 22, we can divide this by 2, and this gives us 11, right? So the answer is 11 in this case. Oh, sorry, no need to divide. So the answer is actually just 22 itself. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question 7.
Question 7. So Daniel spent $1,825 on his rent and new furniture. He gave 5.9 of the remaining to his parents and 1/4 for his salary left. How much was Daniel's salary? So we can do branching. So salary, and then he spent 1,825 on the salary. Not on the salary, but this is on rent. Okay, and then plus dollars 1,150 on furniture. Okay, and then he has the remaining. So remaining part over here is 5/9, 5/9 to his parents, and then he has left 1/4 of his salary. Okay, so what does this mean? So this means if you were to just ignore the 1/4 salary part, right? So 5/9 to parent. So that means in this case, parents go to 5 units, right? Okay, and then 1/4 left. What has he left? So we know that total from the denominator over here. This is 9 units. So what is left is 9 units minus 5 units equal 4 units. Okay. So in this case, what is left, okay, is basically 4 units. Okay. And 4 units is what is left. And it's also 1 over 4 of his salary. So if 1 over 4 of his salary is 4 units, then 4 over 4 of his salary or his full salary is 16 units. So now we also know that his parents and what is left 4 units, or basically his remaining is 9 units. So what he spent on, so if I cut well, okay, so what he spent on in this case is rent and furniture. Okay, so rent and furniture, rent and furniture is basically 16 units minus 9 units, which is 7 units. So since we know 7 units is equal to rent plus furniture, which is also equal to this amount, 1,825 and 1,115. So it's equal to 1,150 plus what is that? 125, sorry, 100 and it's 1825. Oops, 1825 plus 1150. Okay, 1150. Okay, and this will give us 5 plus 1150. Oops, 2975. Okay, so dollars 2975. So then what is 1 unit? Is 2975 minus 8 divided by 7, and this is 2975 divided by 7, 425. Okay, dollars 425. And then the total units is 16 units, which is equal to 425 times 16. Okay, so 425 times 16, and this gives us $6,800. Okay, $6,800. Right, let's move on to the next question.
All right, question 8. ABCD is a rectangle with an area 217 centimeters square, right? So this whole area is 2170 centimeters square. X and Y are points on AB, right? And AX, this one, is 1/5 of AB, this one. And then AY, all right, this AY is half of AB, which is this whole thing. And XY is 21 cm. Find the height of triangle XYC. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit simpler because it can get a bit confusing. So I'm going to drag this AB down. Okay, all right. So now we have A and we have B. Okay, and then we also know the X over here. So I'm just going to put here as X, right? So when you see this 1/5, right, you might be thinking, oh, this is obviously 1/5. No, no, no. So 1/5 means this is 1 unit, but 5 over here is the total unit. Okay, so that means if this is 1 unit, right, then what we need to do is to minus off. So it's a pretty straightforward one, which is basically this is 1 unit or U, and this is 4 units. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, great. Now the next part is the next statement. AY is half of AB. So there is AY over here. So this is Y. Okay, so AY, so I'm gonna draw again basically another highlighter. So AY over here is half of AB, right? In this case, like this, something like this. Okay, so it's literally half. Okay, half, right? So what this means is that if you want to know this of like what is AY, right? What is A and what is Y? Then in a way we have to make the denominator to be divisible by 2. So that means we have to make 1 over 5 to become times 2 lah, right? Times 2 times 2, and this gives us 2 over 10. So that means we have to multiply our unit over here. Instead of 1 unit and 4 unit, we will make it into 1 times 2 is 2 units, and 4 times 2 is 8 units in this case, right? 8 units, all right? So now we know this is a total of 10 units, right? This whole AB is 10 units. We can then divide it by 2. So that means AY is 5 units, and then YB is 5 units. All right. So now the thing is that we know how long X and Y is. So you see over here, right? If I were to just ignore this, okay, I'll just ignore this. And we know that this is 21 centimeters. So if I were to even ignore everything else, right, I just ignore everything else. Okay, just ignore everything else. So with this, can we get 1 unit, right? So with this, you see 2 units plus 21 cm is equal to 5 units, right? So if you were to write there, 5 units is equal to 2 units plus 21 cm, okay? And then 3 units, because we minus 2 on each side, is equal to 21 cm. Then 1 unit is equal to 7 cm. So what is the total units? So we know that the total units is 10, right? Because we multiply by 10. So right here, right? Total is equal to 10 units. So 10 units is equal to 70 centimeters. Okay, because we times 10. So we know that this whole length over here, okay, in this case, is 70 centimeters. All right. So if we know one of the length, can we know one of the breadth over here? Okay, and just to point out as well is that they are looking for the height of triangle X, Y, and C, this shaded one. So if you were to remember, right, for a triangle that is something like this, okay, so like that, that, and that, okay, so the height is the dotted line, so height, and then we know the base, right? So the height is always the dotted line in this case. So since we know xy is in a way a base, then the dotted line is here. So since the dotted line is here, it's also the same length as the height of the rectangle. So if we are able to get the BC, we are able to get the height of XYZ triangle. So what this means is that we have the area, which is in this case, right, 2170. So the area is 2170 is equal to what they call this 70 times, in this case, the height, which is BC, right? So BC is basically equal to 2170 divided by 70, and this will give us 31 centimeters. So the answer to the height of triangle XYC is 31 centimeters. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 9. 18 identical comic books and 12 identical storybooks were stacked up to a height of 69.42. So I'm just going to let C be comic books, and then let S be storybooks. So it's easier, right? Storybooks. Okay. So basically what this means is that 18 comic book C plus 12 storybooks is equal to 69.42 centimeter. Okay. So when 10 of the comic books and 4 storybooks were removed, the height of the remaining stack was 35.6. So you just put 18 minus 10 is equal to 8C, and then 12 minus 4 is equal to 8 storybooks. So 8C plus 8 storybooks is equal to 35.6. Okay. So what was the thickness of each comic book? So we also can get the what do you call this? The 10 comic books and 4 storybooks. Four storybooks. So that means if you were to have uh 10 storybooks plus 10 comic books, right? So 10 comic books plus 4 storybooks, which is what was removed, is basically 69.42 minus 35.6. Okay. And in this case, 69.42 minus 35.6. And this gives us 33.82. Okay. 33.82. So the thing is that can we 33.82? Oh my god. Right, later do wrong. Okay. So the thing is that we can also have 4s to be removed. So how we do that is basically we can divide. So 4c plus 4 storybooks is equal to 35.6, which is this part, and we can divide it by 2. And this will give us 17.8. So 10c plus 4s, which is equal to 33.82. We can minus 4c plus 4s, right? So we can cancel the 4 storybooks. This is 17.8. So 10c minus 4c, this will give us 6c, which is equal to 33.82 minus 17.8. And this gives us 16.02. So what is one comic book height is 16.02 divided by 6, right? So 2.67. So 16.02 divided by 6 is equal to 2.67 centimeters. So one comic book height is 2.67 centimeters. All right. So next question. Question 10. Okay. So an equal number of boys and girls attended the school events in the morning. So let's say we have boys and we also have girls. Right? Girls. So it's 1:1, right? So in the afternoon, another 84 boys joined and 28 girls left. In the evening, another 41 boys and 30 girls joined as well. In the end, there were 5 times as many boys as girls. How many children has attended? Okay. So in this case, the changes is, so this is before. The changes is 84 plus 41. Okay. And then for girls is left is just minus 28 plus 33. And after, it is basically what do you call this? 1 unit plus 125 is to 1 unit plus 5 in this case over here. Okay. Then the thing is that at the end, there were 5 times as many boys as girls. So what this means is that uh, 1 unit plus 125 is equal to 5 times more of the girls, right? 1 unit plus 5. Okay. So in essence, this is 1 unit plus 125 equal to 5 units plus 25. Okay. So if you were to, add them together, this is like 4 units is equal to 100. Okay. Or 4 units equal to 100. And then 1 unit is equal to 100 divided by 4, which is 25. So now we want to know how many children has attended in the morning, which is the before. In this case is 1 unit plus 1 unit. So which is 2 units. So 2 units is equal to 25 times 2, and this is 50. So the answer over here is 50. All right, and that's it for Maha Bodhi exam paper.